In the heart of ABA, just off the crumbling stretch of Cemetery Road, there was a workshop known simply as Yolo Eshi, the House of Spirits. No signboard. No advertisements. Yet, people whispered about it from Engwa Road to Ariaria. They said the coffins built there never rotted. Even after 10 rainy seasons underground, they remained pristine. And strangest of all, anyone who buried their loved ones in one of the Yolo Eshi coffins soon became rich. Very rich. Chinedu Maduka, the man behind the legend, was once a poor carpenter, one of many in the bustling markets of ABA. But after a mysterious journey to the forests of Bays, he returned with a glowing black charm carved from aji wood and wrapped in red cloth. From that day, his fortunes changed. Orders for coffins poured in, even from across the Niger. But no one knew what price he paid for his sudden rise. Each night, after his compound gates creaked shut, neighbors would hear strange sounds, hammering, sawing, low chants. Yet the compound appeared dark, no light, no movement. It was said that Maduka slept soundly in his chamber while spirits of the dead toiled in his backyard workshop. You see, each coffin was laced with a binding charm, buried beneath the velvet lining. The moment a corpse was laid inside, its soul was tethered to the charm and drawn to Maduka's domain. These spirits, now slaves, would spend eternity building more coffins for their captor in the spiritual plane, strengthening his trade and ensuring his clients grew mysteriously prosperous as part of the deal. But the dead talk, and in the spirit world, they began to grumble. Until one day, something went wrong. A wealthy family from Imo brought in the body of Dibia Okonkwo, a powerful native doctor feared across 3 states. He had died suddenly in his sleep, some said poisoned, others whispered it was his time. His sons, seeking a grand burial, chose one of Maduka's finest coffins, obsidian black, with golden lion heads carved into each corner. The burial was lavish. Masquerades danced. Drummers played for hours. A white cow was slaughtered. But that night, Maduka woke up drenched in sweat. His workshop echoed with a sound he had never heard before, roaring. Not of any beast he knew, but of wrath. At 1:03 a.m., all the lights in his house exploded at once. In the spiritual workshop, the other spirits had stopped working. They stood still, huddled in fear. Okonkwo had arrived. But he did not wear burial clothes anymore. He was naked, covered in ash, eyes glowing red, with a crooked staff in one hand and a chain of broken charms in the other. I was no man in life, he growled to the other spirits. And I am no slave in death. In a flash, he broke the charm binding him. Then he shattered the others, freeing spirit after spirit. The workshop trembled as hundreds of ghostly figures burst out, wailing in anger. Maduka, clutching his own charm necklace, tried to chant the incantation that kept the spirits bound. But his voice failed. His mouth, twisted. Blood dripped from his nose. His charm burned his skin like hot metal. The next morning, neighbors gathered outside Yolo Eshi. No one had seen Maduka since the blackout. Then someone noticed the heavy compound gate, ajar. Police were called. What they found inside chilled even hardened officers. The entire workshop had been smashed from the inside. Coffins were torn apart. On the floor lay hundreds of footprints, bare, spectral, and smeared with ashes. But worst of all was what they found in the main chamber. Chinedu Maduka's body was sitting upright in one of his own coffins. Eyes wide open. Mouth sewn shut with human hair. And on his chest, carved with a knife, was a message in Igbo. Inaigwa egwa nandi wuruanwu. You play games with the dead? Within weeks, everyone who had purchased Maduka's coffins began to suffer. One by one, they reported strange dreams, accidents, sudden deaths. Their wealth turned to dust. Fires broke out in homes without reason. Families began exhuming their dead, burning the coffins and performing cleansing rituals. But not all spirits left. The story of Chinedu Maduka serves as a cautionary tale about the dangers of exploiting others, whether living or dead, for personal gain. Maduka's rise to wealth and success was built on a foundation of manipulation and enslavement of spirits, which ultimately led to his downfall. You reap what you sow. This is the consequences of exploiting others for personal gain. Thank you for watching Folktales by Annie. If you enjoyed this story, please hit the subscribe button and turn on post notifications so you get to be the first to know when the next story drops. Until next time, keep your soul clean, your conscience pure and your hands diligent in your work. Stay focused and out of the dark.